want to welcome you to the special edition of the Coach Chennis Show, all things BC Tigers. Listen, I got to tell you, Prisma Health, thank you so much for, of course, allowing us to be able to bring this show to you with the Lexington Medical Center, as well as South Carolina Education Lottery. But you got to be happy, especially with this product that this coach and his team has put together today. We're talking about 11 weeks straight of 11 as 1-0.
1-0.
11 weeks straight, 1-0, and now it's coming down to the wire of a big game that you guys have coming up, which we're going to get into against Wingate, because those are the guys now that you're going to face 1 o'clock at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium. But, you know, just tell me your thoughts. Your team had a weekend off, had a bye week, so they can get prepared and so forth. What's been happening? What's been going through your mind, players' minds?
Well, first of all, our players are in a great spot. You know, last week we spent time working on us. So we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday last week and really focused in on our fundamentals. You know, we really wanted to take last week and just don't worry about the opponent, because at this point we didn't know who we were playing. It was between Virginia Union and Wingate. And so we wanted to work on us and just work on fundamentals and just all the things that are important to becoming a successful football player. And, you know, and we wanted to work on getting healthy. You know, so some of the guys we didn't take as many reps last week to get their bodies right, because the reality is, Curtis, man, it's a new season. You know, whatever's happened from week 0 to week 11 has nothing to do with right now. It's a new season. It's playoff time. The best of the best is going to be to compete against each other. So we're just getting our football team ready. But our guys in the right mindset. So like I say, we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We gave them Friday and Saturday off to kind of watch college football themselves, kind of get away, get their bodies and their minds right. And then we came back on Sunday, and we had a great meeting. The players had a players-only meeting. We had a meeting with the players and make sure everybody was locked and loaded. And then we went out and had a nice hour practice, and we got out there a little bit and got better. And now we're just focusing on the opponent. Now we know we're playing Wingate, and we're going to lock in on a really good, well-coached football team and get those guys ready to rock and roll for this upcoming Saturday at 1 o'clock.
All right, so this week here as well as Thanksgiving. And I'm sure it's a different thing for BC, because normally they're gone, they're home, they're able to get some food with family and friends, but they're going to be with the football family now.
Yes, they're going to be with their football family. We'll all be together. So this week we're planning on, today we're focusing on academics. You know, we're finishing off the semester. We're in our finals. And so we're finishing off the semester strong academically. So we won't have anything. There'll be a player's day off today. And then tomorrow we're going to get after it. We'll be out there Tuesday. We'll have weights. We'll have meetings. We'll have practice. And then Wednesday we'll do pretty much the same thing. We'll have weights, meetings, and practice. And then Thursday, what we plan on doing, we're going to practice in the morning. We're going to get out there a little bit for a couple hours in the morning, and then we're going to let our young men that are from areas that are close by to be able to go home to their families and be able to, you know, have Thanksgiving with their families, you know, and I think that's very important. We're a family-oriented program, and the guys that can't get away, we have a big meal planned for the guys in the cafeteria at 12 noon, where the cafeteria is going to provide all the the Thanksgiving food, little turkey and dressing, little ham, you know, little potato salad, you know, all that good stuff, and some desserts, and be able to break bread. We'll pray together, and we'll eat together on Thursday. And then they have to be back Thursday night for team meetings, so we can go and watch the film from practice. And then 1 o'clock on Friday, we'll have a nice little walkthrough and get ready to rock and roll, and then it'll be getting close to game time. So, you know, we're going to go business as usual, but we understand it is Thanksgiving. It's about family time. So the deal we'll do this year, man, will be with our football family. You know, it's something different that hadn't happened here at Benedict before, but ultimately at the end of the day, we'll get a chance to do football, but we also have a chance to really give thanks to the good Lord, just because He's been so good to us through this whole year. So we want to give thanks, whether it be through food, whether it be through fellowship, but we want to make sure that we give thanks to the great things that's been happening in our program.
All right, this is the Coach Chennis Show, brought to you by Prisma Health, as well as Lexington Medical Center and South Carolina Education Lottery. We're not done, by no means. We still have more coming up, and we'll tell you about some inside stuff I'm going to try to get out of Coach about this game coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Stay with us. Be right back.
Whether it's a bad kick, nagging back pain, or a hip that has you hobbling, nothing matters more than getting you back to feeling your best. As South Carolina's most preferred orthopedic provider and official team doctors for the Tigers and Gamecocks, Prisma Health provides all the care you need. With more expertise, more technology, and more locations closer to you, we're doing even more to help you be your healthiest you. Prisma Health, the orthopedic experts.
Welcome back to this special edition of the Coach Chennis Berry Show, all things BC football. And as you know, they had a bye week, so it doesn't mean that we're not going to take you back and show you some of the highlights and things that happened with BC football from this past season. But being the top seed in Division II football is a first. I mean, you hit a lot of historic moments for Benedict College. I mean, seriously, right now going 1-0 for 11 weeks right there in itself, then winning the SIAC Division championship. Now we're talking about going to Division II football championship against Wingate. I know you guys only celebrate that 24-hour period, and then you come back and you get right down to it. But this one here, historic for BC, doing all the things that you've done, and again, still not done. It's got to make you plus your players feel a certain kind of way. Tell me the thoughts. Take us into the locker room. Take us into, your being at home and just settling down, and it hits you there too. You know what I mean?
I mean, to God be the glory, man. I'm just grateful and fortunate just to be in this position. I mean, when you really look at the season, and then when you saw that, as things was progressing throughout the year, that we were putting ourselves in the position, first of all, to win every game, but to get to the point where we were going to really have a chance to compete for the SIAC championship, and then to win the championship, and then to go to the NCAA, where they made the selection committee, made us the #1 seed. I mean, it just brings joy to your heart, because all the hard work that you put in to get to this point, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a village to build a program, and just all the hard work and all the people that poured into this program, not only just our players and our coaches, but the administration and the support we've gotten from the campus and the community and as a whole. It just brings joy to your heart. I mean, honestly, it just, I don't sit for a long time and soak on victories. I get ready for the next game. But when you just sit back, we had a chance last week to just kind of sit back and reflect on the season. I mean, it brings joy to your heart. I mean, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's hard to get here. And I don't know how many HBCUs in the history of college football ever had the opportunity to become a #1 seed. So, I'm just kudos to my coaches, players, all the people that have supported our program, and all the hard work that's been put in. But I know, I'm a firm believer in this. The good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has been good to us, no question about it, because to know where this program come from, 2 years ago when I took over this job on February 11, 2020, to now to say that we're a #1 seed, it's nothing but God. So I'm grateful more than anything. That brings joy to my heart, because we're a praying team, we're a praying family, and we put God first in all we do, man. So, that's why I don't hold it lightly. When I say to God be the glory, I really, really mean that, because you need favor. And favor's not fair, and we were just grateful and blessed to be able to be the #1 seed in our region in Division II.
All right. Tote wood, carry water. Is that how you say it?
Chop wood, carry water.
That's what I said. That's one of the mantras this team has went by this whole season as well. And, you when you talk about your team, you talk about thunder and lightning. You talk about your QB. You talk about defensive player of the year, the offensive player of the year. You talk about the offense. You talk about the defense. All together, like you just said, this team is a family, and they've learned to work together to get to this point. Let's talk about some of the highlights and so forth.
Yeah, it's been quite a few. Just going back to training camp. The very first church visit we made back, and we visited 5 churches during training camp. And the very first one we went to was Pastor Eric Davis. He preached on God's looking for game changers. And that service right there brought joy to my heart, because over 25 of our young men gave their life to Christ that day. And to see those young men just celebrate and praise God, that was one of the highlights of the whole entire year. But that kicked off our season. And I knew right then it's gonna be fun this year. So it was so many throughout the year, just to see young men just grow, and guys that really didn't get a lot of reps last year, get better and get a chance to get in the mix. And then some of the transfers we brought in. We brought in some transfers that really have been difference makers. And to see those guys finally gel and join into the family that we already currently have, to see those guys gel together, that was a special thing. And then I can remember Lubert Denales in training camp. You know, one of the days that we got up and presented chopped wood, carry water, because we had to do that every day, Lou Denales got in front of the team and he said, I feel something special about this football team. This is before we played any game. He said, something special about this football team, and I feel really, really good about our season. And just to hear them say that, that was huge. And then if you go back, man, you know, one of the hashtags we came up with, nobody knew what it was. We came back with a hashtag back long time ago, called hashtag 111222. And that's how we really went through our whole offseason, 111222, but nobody knew what that meant. Well, we knew what it meant as a football team, and what it was 11-12 of 22, which was the day of the SIAC championship. We knew that the East representative was going to be able to host the championship on November the 12th, 2022, and we already had spoken in Jesus' name that it was going to be us. So when training camp started, we stopped saying it. We didn't say it anymore. I told the team that day, we putting it to bed. And we're going to focus on falling in love with the process of becoming great in the journey, and we're not going to talk about 111222 anymore. Lo and behold, on November the 12th, 2022, we played for the SIAC championship, and we were able to beat Tuskegee 58-21 on that day. So we had spoken into existence a long time before that, but we had to fall in love with the process and chop wood, carry water every day, and go 1-0 every day, and we continue to go 1-0 in the entire season. And you look up, we finished the season up 11-0.
Amen. To God be the glory,
to
as you say.
God be the glory, amen.
And, you know, and he says you got to believe, you have to have that faith, the faith the size of just a mustard seed. And here it is, you guys spoke it into fruition, which is a great thing. So we're not done. It is the Prisma Health Coach Chennis Berry Show. Coming back, we're going to talk about this upcoming game on Saturday. We're going to talk about how you can grab some of those tickets and be a part of it at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium, which is going to be really, really huge. And again, being that 12th man, people, it's underrated as to your impact that you have in that stadium when those guys hear that cheering, hear their names being yelled out, and you kind of offsetting that offense and defense on the other team too when you do all of that. So it brings the energy. You bring the energy, which is why they need you. But we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. It is the Coach Chennis Berry Show, brought to you by Prisma Health, South Carolina Education Lottery, as well as Lexington Medical Center. We also have an opportunity for you to be a part of this big historic moment with Benedict College. Back after this.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up and education has received billions in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to the Coach Chennis Berry Show, all things BC football. Right now it's time for the South Carolina Education Lottery Player Spotlight, and we have running back for BC, grad student, senior, Davon Smith, my man. Thank you so much for joining us.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing good.
1-0 every single week.
Yes, sir.
You guys have made it through 11 weeks of that. You got another game coming up this Saturday, 1 o'clock over at Charlie W. Johnson against Wingate. But let's talk about this season. Let's talk about you and the plays as a whole, getting to where you are today. You're in that locker room. You hang out with these guys when you're not in class or not in that gym and so forth. What's the mindset? Tell me what goes on with you guys.
Man, right now, man, going to like the whole season, man, it's just this year we had to all have a bond. You know, everybody have a bond, man, and just me being a grad student and understanding just you have to understand the players, man, and everything. Everything have to come together as one. Shooting. It's important to walk that walk. And my part is I have to walk that walk outside the football field, so they can have something to follow, so that helps me out, and they see me as a big brother, so I get to help them out, guide them along the way, man, guide them along the path, man, and just, be that light, be that voice for the team, man. But right now the team, y'all bought in, man, and, everybody's mindset is tremendous right now, just nobody thinking about their championship. We all just enjoying the journey, it's about the process, and that's something big this year, the process.
You guys have been putting in the work, no
Yes,
doubt
sir.
about that.
Yes,
So you're
sir.
from Houston, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about growing up in Texas. Cowboy fan?
No, sir, Texans fan.
Go ahead.
But I got love for the Cowboys.
Okay,
though.
go ahead.
But growing up in Houston, man, You know, it come from my dad, David Smith, my mom, LaTanya Lindsay. They had me in high school. It was young, man, but I didn't always have it all growing up. But you know, they taught me the value of life lessons, you know, and the principles of life. You know, you don't have to always get what you want, but you know, as long as you get what you need, you know, you're good. You know, so you know, growing up, I didn't always have the easy route. I had the hardest route, man, but it made me a better man, you know, a man of God. And my mom, she loves God to death, and she always had us in church, my brothers and my sisters, man. So, you know, that played a big role. And then when I got to college, you know, that's what took over. Yes,
especially with Coach Chennis Berry.
Yes, sir.
Who preaches all the time.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you can't help but take what he says and of course give it back to your players as well and walk with them on this journey. And speaking about that, you one of the leaders in the locker room. You're one of the voices for the team as well. What are some of the things you say to them when you're getting fired up before the game?
Man, like usually I don't really talk to the team too much the day of the game because it's nothing much you really have to say. But the night before in the hotels, man, I usually give them a speech. You know, I gave them about 2 or 3 speeches this year. Okay. And I just like to tell them, you know, stories that God put in my heart. You know, like against Fort Valley, I talked about weathering the storm and how, you know, it's gonna be daylight. You know, but it's gonna be at one point in the game we're gonna have to weather the storm. Something's not gonna go our way, but we gotta weather it. And against Albany, I talked about how it's going to be a storm the whole game, you know, and I don't know when the storm's going to end. And that, as you can see from the first play to the last game, the last play, we fumbled a QB kneel, and it was a storm the whole game, but we still weathered it, you know. So, absolutely. You know, I like to give them life speeches that can relate to life, you know, but I want to also put God at the forefront because, you know, that's who we represent. That's who, you know, that's who we look to right now, God, you know, that's who the head of the journey, head of the boat, you know. So, you know, whatever God wants me to say, man, that's what I say, man, but that's about it.
I picture you getting up on the box like the movie Rudy, and you get in there. Is that how you do it?
Sometimes I have to, man.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
So one of the running backs for Benedict College, one of the great running backs for BC as well. What do you see yourself going, playing for the Dallas Cowboys? You notice I keep throwing that in there, right?
Hey, if God bless me to do that, man, then that'd be the dream, man. That's what I want, man. But you know, after tearing my ACL 3 times, man, like it take a toll on your body. You know, my dream has been to go to the NFL. You know, but recently, man, you know, I want to be a coach, and I kind of started my training business also. I want to, you know, I can help kids grow. You know, teach them about God before they get to college, get to the real world. You know, because that's big. You know, a lot of adversity in college, you don't even have to do it on the field. It's really off the field. You know, and I've seen so many kids just come through and quit because off-field issues, you know, and I feel like if you can prepare them, you know, before they get to college for them issues and, you know, show them who God is and teach them about God, then they have somebody to look to when they go through that adversity, man. So
important.
Yes, sir.
So important.
Yes, sir.
And you yourself have, you know, you've had some adversity in your life, but you overcome that.
Yes, sir.
To still be here today.
Yes, sir.
You know, which is a great thing.
Yes, sir.
You want to talk about some of your adversities?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, man. Well, shoot, man. I made my mind up that I wanted to be the best running back, you know, ever in 7th grade. And that's kind of when, you know, adversity started. I wasn't the biggest kid. I wasn't the biggest, and I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the fastest, but I worked hard. So 9th grade year, I tried out for running back. They moved me to receiver. And then 2 games into the season, they tried me at running back, and then from there on, boom, you know. So my sophomore year, I had to take a back seat to our running back, Khalid Kakuma. He played running back, and he was going to U of H. He was committed there, so I had to play receiver, man. I made first team all-district at receiver. And then my junior year, I was about to get a torch to play running back, and I tore my ACL, my right one. You know, so that was a blow. You know, that was a big blow, man. But as a kid, to go through that, it's a very maturing experience because, like, you're looking at all the kids around you, everybody having fun. And for a kid to have to go through that, sit on the sideline every game and learn how to support your teammates and be happy for them, it's hard, you know, because you want to be a part of it. You know, so going through that, man, that taught me a lot. But I'm thankful for, you know, my senior year, I bounced back, man. I had 35 touchdowns. Wow. You know, 1,700 rushing yards, man, and 800 receiving yards, man. So, yes, sir.
That's what's up.
So, you know, that was a big testimony to God in my life. That's when I seen God really works, man. You know, that's a big injury. Then, you know, I ended up having 2 offers, you know, to NSU in Louisiana and Alcorn State. And I chose to commit to NSU, and I went there. And my first year, I got redshirted, but I got scout team MVP. I took pride every day, man, just going to practice and trying to get better. You know, and I got MVP of scout team, and that spring ball, my freshman year, I tore my other ACL. You know, and that was 2017. So that was another blow, man. But you know, I went to the locker room, called my dad, and I was just crying, man. I was crying, and my dad, you know, he said, "It's okay. You about to bounce back. You did it before. We're gonna do it again." And in that split moment, I had my mind made up. I'm gonna do it again. So you know, I bounced back, man, and that coaching staff ended up getting fired, you know. So I had a whole new coaching staff coming in. I had to, you know, come back from an injury and do good for a whole new coaching staff, man. So, you know, I did that, man, and I bounced back, got the starting spot that spring ball, and then we got a new coach, and we kind of bumped heads a little bit and didn't see eye to eye, you know. So that season kind of, you know, I was third string, and I went through the whole season, and I was forced to transfer, and I transferred here. And when I came here, the coaches they were able to bring me in. They brought me in, and I practiced the first practice. And then after the first practice, they came to me and they told me I was ineligible. And I was just like, man, you know, another blow, man.
Yeah.
You know, another blow, man. So I had to sit the whole season out. And after that season, that coaching staff got fired. So we were sitting here for 2 months without a head coach, you know, and I'm like, man,
I wonder what
you
your
know,
future is
like,
going to
man,
be like.
yeah, you know, it was like, dang, man, God, you brought me here, you know, but I stayed, man, kept working, you know, then 2 months later, Coach Berry come in. And, man, he changed the whole program around, man. You know, just from a D1 setting, man, he treated everything like a D1, and I was able to relate to everything. And the first day, I didn't go talk to Coach Berry. You know, I didn't want to go up because I know there's a lot of people going to talk to him, a lot of faces. I wanted him to see who I am just on the field, you know. So the first day of workouts, he knew who I was. I knew who he was, you know, man. And since then, we had a bond, man. And I just watched, you know, God, man, work through him and change his whole program around, man. Because when I first came, it was just...
Yeah, we know. Let's not go there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
so
man,
much better.
Yes, sir. So, man, yeah. So, you know, and you know, I was a starting running back here, you know, for a year, and then COVID ended up hitting, you know, so I had to wait a whole year. And then we finally about to play again the next season. 3 days before the first game, I tore my ACL again, third time.
Wow.
And that right there was the biggest blow because it was my senior year, man.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting, man. Been waiting for the opportunity, you know. So, man, I made my mind up that I was done after that, and I was gonna be done with it. But during the game, man, you know, I was just talking to God on the sideline, just talking, man, and he was like, Devon, you know, if anybody could do it, it's you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, man, you crazy, man. You know, you crazy, man. And I started smiling.
I think you're the only person I ever heard call God crazy. You crazy guy.
Like, man, you know, and then I went to the trainer and I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna come back, man. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show everybody how great God is. You know, so from now on, I had my mind made up. Man, bounced back. You know, and I ended up, since I tore my ACL twice, they didn't know how to handle it. You know, they didn't know what to do with it. So a lot of time was kind of wasted a little bit, and I didn't really get my surgery until December. So I tore my ACL August 31st, and I didn't get surgery till December 20th.
Wow.
So I had 7 months to come back.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the time,
It's
you know,
hard work.
I'm like, man, I had a year. You know, both times I tore previous, I had a year, and this time I had 7 months. You know, so this was the biggest test, but, you know, I put my head down, man, and God was at the forefront, man, and I let him lead the way. And now I'm here, man. And
Persevered.
yeah,
through it all.
persevered, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, being a running back, I can relate because I was a running back in high school as well.
Yeah.
And for me, just getting that ball, but of course, knowing when the quarterback calls that play and you know it's coming to you, you're looking at the field, you're looking at it, your blockers, your front line is doing what they got to do and the hole open up, or you got to do your cuts and your move.
Yeah.
It's such a great feeling when you carry that ball and you get the first down, you're getting the touchdowns. Tell me about that.
Man, shoot, man. This year, man, I had to build my confidence, you know, coming back from the ACL and just a process, man. So each week, you know, I had to, you know, stay in the sand pit still, you know, stay in the weight room, stay rehabbing because it was just 7 months process. But just to get the ball, man, and hit the hole again in training camp, it felt so good, man. It felt so good, man. It was just a blessing because the game could be taken away so fast, you know, so fast, man. To be able to score my first touchdown, you know, I cried, you know, man, because, you know, everything that go into it, man, you know, scoring a touchdown, it's big, you know, it's big, man. I never scored a touchdown in college, and just for my teammates to understand, like, it's a big moment, and they worked their butt off to get me in the end zone. You know, and everybody just realizing, like, it's God, you know, it's God's work, man. So it's just a great feeling, being back out there, hitting the hole, running people over, man, blocking, just everything, man. Just being a leader, man. I love it, man.
Such a great feeling, such a great thing. And we're so glad that you're a part of the Benedict College Tiger family, no question about that. And real quick, on the 40, you had to run the 40 before? Or was just beating the 40?
Yes, sir. Last time I really ran the 40 was my freshman year of college. I ran about a 4.5, 4.51.
I would beat you. I was 4.4.
If I train, I can do a 4.3.
My man. Listen, we appreciate you and all the success that BC has had, and still more to come. And like you said, your journey is not over, man.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, Devin Smith. Make sure you catch him this coming Saturday 1 o'clock. That's the one I was looking at. 1 o'clock game over at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium. Make sure you're out there for this one. This is the Coach Chennis Berry Show, brought to you by Prisma Health, South Carolina Education Lottery, which is Spotlight, and also Lexington Medical Center. Back more after this.
At Lexington Medical Center, we want you to lead a long and healthy life, and we're here to help you do just that. Our experienced team of healthcare professionals wants nothing more than to help make you well again. Take good care of yourself, and remember, we're here for you whenever you need us. If you don't already have a doctor or you're looking for a new one, choose from more than 70 physician practices at Lexington Medical Center. We wish you a lifetime of good health and happiness. Be well.
Welcome back to this special edition of the Coach Chennis Berry Show, brought to you by Prisma Health and, of course, South Carolina Education Lottery and Lexington Medical Center. We thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it, as, of course, it's been an historic year for BC athletics, BC football in itself, and what Coach Chennis Berry, his coaching staff, and the players, and you have helped to accomplish with this team this year. So this is why we say thank you for this season of Thanksgiving. Now, we got a big game coming up against Wingate this coming Saturday, 1 o'clock. Tell us about this team, Coach.
Tell you what, they're a well-coached football team. They're in a good league. They're in the SAC. And Coach Reich, I tell you what, he's been there a long time. I mean, over 15 years, and he's built a good program. You know, they've been in the playoffs multiple times, and, you know, they do a really good job. I mean, those guys, especially on defense, I mean, their defense is rated in top in all of Division II in total defense. I mean, they do a very, very good job. And last week, when they played Virginia Union, they end up scoring 16 points on defense. They had 2 pick sixes and a safety. So their defense has been playing that way all year. And you know, offensively, they do some really good things. They spread it around a little bit. They have a quarterback that's a veteran quarterback, and he's been the starter there for the last few years. And you know, in special teams, they have a punter that does an amazing job of placing the ball and pinning people deep. And their kickers, I mean, he kicks it out of the end zone pretty much every time. So overall, offense, defense, and special teams, they do a really, really good job. They're a well-coached unit. Those guys play hard, and they believe in their system. Right now, I think they're currently 10-2, and like I say, a really, really well-coached football team that we're going to have to be ready for this upcoming Saturday at Charlie Johnson Stadium.
All right, so here it is, Coach. Thank you so much for the update on this team, Wingate, that a lot of folks probably don't know about, but you gave them some insight on, and I know you are preparing your team for this game. Saturday, 1 o'clock, Charlie W. Johnson Stadium. We know it's a holiday week that's going down and Thanksgiving is coming up, but Saturday, we need you there. So here's what we're going to do to make it easy for you. Get your tickets at benedict.edu or benedicttigers.com. Both sites, benedict.edu or benedicttigers.com. And on top of that, we're going to make parking free. Parking is going to be free this weekend. And we made the tickets so affordable for you, family, friends, anybody coming into town that want to check out a great college team playing some great college football, which, of course, I'm talking about the Benedict College Tigers. They'll be there. $15 for adults, $10 for seniors, $5 for college students, high school students, and also for youth. So there it is. Very affordable for a big, huge game. We're talking about Division II championship game here. This is what's going to be going down at Benedict College. Tailgating, if you want to get your spot, you can bring your family and friends out there and tailgate. You got your turkey leftovers, bring that for you, and also stuff to throw in the grill, only $150, all right? So there it is, making it so affordable. And again, parking is free. Come on through, grab some of these tickets, and enjoy a great game with your Benedict College Tigers taking on Wingate for the Division II championship here, coaching. And I know we talked about how important all year long, how important it is to have that 12th man in the stand. We're talking about the crowd to be there to help boost up these kids who are out there playing, to give them encouragement, to hear their names. And of course, with a game on this magnitude, folks, you got to come through and see the difference that it makes in their heart.
It's an historic moment. You know, our young men are, first of all, super excited and confident about this football game. I mean, just to see them in meetings and practice, the energy level that those guys are flying around and believing. And we feel like we got a really good football team. And like I say, we'll be prepared. We'll be ready to rock and roll. First Wingate, which is another good football team. But I really, really like where our football team is standing right now. But, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, we want you there. The energy and the juice that you bring our young men when you're in the stands and yelling their names and they see that purple and gold, tell you what, that's really, really huge for us. And our young men are believing it's a historic moment that Benedict College, the first time this has ever happened. Be a part of it. We have something special that we're building here at Benedict College, and we need you to join us.
All right, there it is. And let's say in the event you can't get to the stadium, but you definitely want to watch this game, you can on HBCU League Pass Plus. You can download the app on your Amazon Fire Stick or even Roku. So there it is. Either way, we need your support, but we'd love to have you at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium. That's where we get the most support. That's where we get the most energy. But of course, supporting us on the HBCU League Pass Plus is okay. But come on out if you can. We're making it affordable. Free parking. I got to tell you this. Free parking Saturday, Saturday, why am I saying the first? Saturday, well, it's the first time it's free parking. There you go. First time you can do that. $15 tickets for adults, $10 for seniors, $5 for college students, high school, and also youth. Come on through for this game. It's going to be a big one. We need you there. And Coach, we thank you so much for what you've done. We thank, of course, the coaches, the players, the booster clubs, all those who support BC football. We say thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Prisma Health, Coach's Show with Coach Chennis, all things BC football. That's my growl.